Hello everybody, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Now today, I was not planning on making a video, but I've been playing around with an idea that is actually kind of fun. As a lot of you may know, I'm a big fan of classic science fiction, including like really old science fiction. Uh, Anything from like 1600s onward. Anyways, but also some of my favorite authors, such as Jules Verne and H.G. Wells. And it got me thinking of a concept that's used by both of those authors, which is the space gun. In the case of Jules Verne, it's From the Earth to the Moon, and the sequel, Round the Moon, and of course H.G. Wells, it was War of the Worlds. Anyway, so I made this decoupler. Well, I went into the part and I gave it a lot of power, and now I can do this. And I can use it as a cannon to launch things off of Kerbin. And I love that flare effect. That's because I have these struts that cause that. Anyways, and look at that. Now, okay, my UI is broken. I don't know what the deal is. In this file, it was broken before. It's broken again now. I updated the game, still broken, so I'm pretty sure it's just the game file has a corruption somewhere, and I'm too lazy to find it. So, yeah, the intercept and all that always looks weird, and the orbits sometimes look weird. What is that? Oh, right, that was from... I made a couple recordings before this, but my mic was muted, so you didn't hear anything. And I broke one. It was only like 2 minutes of recording, so nothing of value was actually lost. Don't worry about it. Now these people, like that test craft, don't have any means of safe recovery. So literally, they're just flying to the moon and they're gonna crash because this is what it was like in From the Earth to the Moon. It was a projectile being launched at the moon at ludicrous speeds. Like, the physics in the book were all fairly accurate, and a lot of the calculations were correct. Incidentally, the speeds that would have been required to launch the capsule to the moon probably would have like liquefied everyone on board, so it would have been less triumphant. Incidentally, yeah. Anyways, let's try some other things here. Right, I'm gonna see if I can do a dual effect here, where we launch with one of them, then use a second one to decelerate on the moon. So, let's go. Unfortunately, the physics does that, and it kills all of the, It's like, for that split second, everything's broken up like that. The air drag completely buggers everything up, and I lose the ability to do it. However, I think I can probably still make it to the moon if I do this correctly. Let me aim at the moon, and then boom, away we go. Oh, it's gonna be a flyby. Yeah, using projectile cannons. This was in a pre-rocket age, when the cannon was thought to be the most powerful. Well, it was thought the most practical at the time to get something into space. Actually, H.G. Wells wrote War of the Worlds. Yeah, he wrote War of the Worlds before rockets were anything but a toy. So, oh. But of course, he goes on to talk about how the Martians are exquisitely advanced, and they were able to calculate everything down to the precision. Yeah, which is interesting to think about. They were able to launch cylinders from Mars that landed in England. That's pretty impressive, and within only a few kilometers of each other. So, those Martians were pretty smart. They were so smart, they didn't believe in vaccines, and it killed them. Yeah, it's a joke I keep saying. It's like, the Martians didn't believe in vaccination, and look where it got them. It isn't entirely correct, mind you. It's just hilarious. It's actually kind of an interesting thought about how the Martians were so superbly intelligent, and yet they still managed to end themselves because of a simple oversight. There are some ideas, it's like either... they had eliminated all trace of infectious pathogens on Mars, apparently, long ago. So it's conceivable that the idea of infectious pathogens was just so far removed from their collective memory that it wasn't thought of, or that they did know, but they didn't think that it posed them a threat. I don't know, it's hard to say. In the end, the Martians' hubris killed them, because if they had brought, like, a microbiologist or done any bit of research about Earth's biosphere before invading, they may have made it. And you think about it, they were invading Earth because their planet was dying and they needed to move over. So you think with the survival of their species on the line, they would have been a bit more careful with it, but I guess not. I actually love War of the Worlds. It's just such a good book. I don't know. Select a target. Like, I've read it in a long time, but it was very interesting. I love the first person narrative from an unnamed journalist. So you know as much as he does throughout the events in the book, and it gets quite spooky. Actually, there is a part where it changes, like, from the journalist to somebody else. I think it's like his brother or something like that for a bit, but then it goes back to the journalist. But it's interesting. Oh, come on. But no, anyways, it's like near the end of the book, it's like it wasn't like a triumphant, oh, the hero wins and everyone's fine kind of thing. It was more like the Martians had won, and the journalist was well, he was trapped in a basement for a little while because a Martian cylinder landed on the house that he was hiding in, and then he was forced to kill the religious guy who was with him because he'd gone bonkers. Why is it doing that? What the hell? Anyways, near the end of the book, he crawls out of the basement, and oh, and he's on his way to well, he wanted to see what was going on because the Martians had all seemed to have gone, and he didn't know what to do. Like, everything just seemed dead, everything seemed desolate, there was nobody around, and he actually kind of broke, and he decided to kill himself by basically sacrificing himself to the Martians because he just didn't want to live anymore. And in his trek to do so, he discovered the Martians had all died, and he was like, oh, okay, cool. So it was kind of like The Mist, only instead of him going through with it and then regretting it later, he was lucky. Like, if it had been like just like a day sooner, he probably would have like ended it, and then the Martians would have died. Like, it would have been very tragic indeed. Like the Jeff Wayne's version is actually really good. If you have it, like, if you're a fan of War of the Worlds and you haven't heard it, you're missing out. It's one of the few media that actually follows the book really well. None of the movies really do. Well, there was that one really crappy, low-budget version that followed the book pretty good, but it was crappy and sucked. The 1950s version was a really great movie in and of itself, and I love it, but it didn't follow the book very well. And the Tom Cruise one, same thing, didn't follow the book very well. The TV show from the 80s, that was a sequel to the movie from the 50s, threw the book out the window, but it was actually a lot of fun until they killed it in the second season, because they replaced the director and the writers and basically did everything you're not supposed to do when making a movie or a TV show. I don't know, just dumb people. Alright then, let's mix things up a bit. I am on Duna, obviously. Kerbin's more or less opposition. I have it kind of lagged behind a little bit, just for reasons. But going off War of the Worlds, the Martians waited until Earth and Mars were at their closest, which makes logical sense, honestly. And we're going to do the same. We're going to start out going straight there, although I doubt that's going to be, well, maybe a little bit off. But, hey, let's give it a shot. Boop! See, it'd be better if that was a green, like, color. Well, actually, that's actually not bad at all. Because, you know, in the book, it gave off a green color, a green flare. We can probably actually, I could probably just either increase the power of the decoupler, but that would require me closing down the game. So, I'll do that as a last resort. Alright, let's try this positioning. This is fun. But no, that's not gonna work. Alright. The real question is, would this classify as interplanetary darts or interplanetary golf? You decide. Oh, really? Let's see what we're doing here. See, now it seems we're just getting... Well, actually, that's closer. but when I go too far one side, it, I may have to increase the power of the decoupler, actually. But before I do that, I'm going to show you something else that's also really annoying. Here, watch the sun. Yeah, see? It doesn't, like, smoothly move, it does that. I don't know why, it just does. Ever since I updated this save file, it's been kind of broken. Right, I've increased the power. My cat is now in here with me, because, well, it's 3:30 and she feels the need to talk to me. So let's get this all set up, and we'll just get at it, I suppose. Now, I just increased it a little bit, well, actually, a fair bit, but we'll see how well this works with a direct launch. Oh, alright. Quick save, just in case. And, away we go. Right, I forgot to turn the cheats back on. Yes, I did, seriously. Yes, that's why I had the cheats on. Yes, I know. Alright, let's try this again. Much better. Alright, where are we going? Not bad, not bad. Okay, now we're gonna try the opposite end of things. And we'll see how that worked. Ooh! It actually got us an encounter. Close approach, 84,000 kilometers. That's actually really good. How long will that take to get there? 23 days. That's actually fairly close. In War of the Worlds, the Martians took about a week to get from Earth, or from Mars to Earth. Or was it 10 days? Well, let's see here. But, when they stopped seeing, or we'll just speed this along. When they stopped seeing the last cannon shot, the first cylinder landed the next day or something like that. So it was about 10 or 11 days. Okay, so we're not doing as well as the Martians were. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's so good, my stuttering just kicked in there for a second. Where's Kerbin? There you are. Oh, close. It's just so cool. Alright, that gave us a similar 84,000 encounter. Alright. Maybe go stronger. I could just go straight there, instead of having to do these curves. Alright, and now we are going to try to do some minor course corrections. Unfortunately, they're not working terribly well. Alright, so now we need to aim up. It just changes the time. It doesn't actually change the counter. It's weird. Right, I increased the power of the cannon, see if it works. And I forgot to put the cheats back on. Right then. Excuse me? Maybe it's too powerful? I don't know. Oh. Well, I don't know. Well, let's just do this manually then, I don't know. Hey! Alright, where are we going? No, the approach is just the same. Right, let's try this now. No, still 84. That's really weird. Alright, now this probably... Oh, actually, before I do anything... Yeah. Now, this probably won't work. Because, again, I'm not... It's kind of curved. If I had a flat platform, I might be able to do it. But I'm not entirely sure about doing it from here. I wonder if I can do it from Duna's orbit, actually. I'll try that next, actually. But anyways, let's try this. Brutal. Are we gonna get anywhere near Kerbin? No, we're heading off a weird direction. Right, in Duna orbit, let's locate the target. Let's give this a shot. It's just so great. Alright, where are we going? Oh, that's a close approach. But it's not strong enough to, like, get us there, kind of like a torch drive. Right then, I now have a gun that I can kind of steer. Just by kind of swiveling it around, I can kind of fine-tune my aiming to make it more center. So, if we're gonna give it a shot, let's just save that. No guarantees that this will even work. I don't know. Boop. Now, that's odd. It shouldn't have done that. Got an encounter. Still 84,000 kilometers. That seems to be like the best we can do. It's really weird. I don't know why it's kind of stuck there. You know, this kind of makes me wonder, how did the Martians aim their gun? Like, the cylinders were pretty big in the book. So it makes me wonder, how did they aim them like that precisely? Well, then again, they were like basically just brains with lungs. Like that's literally what they were. They were just like brains with lungs. So I guess they could figure it out. The Martians were pretty clever. And by clever I mean evil, but you know, clever. Actually, H.G. Wells went through if you read the book, the first chapter, there's even a sentence where he says, like, you know, don't judge them too harshly on their actions. And then basically does the whole survival of the fittest thing, where the Martians were dying, they were a superior race to us, therefore they had, like, dibs on Earth. Like, if they wanted to kill us to survive, they had all the right to do it. Oh, damn it. But then later on, after they all die, he goes on and says that they may have had the technological and civilization right to do it. They did not have the biological right, because they did not live here, they did not experience all we had to experience, and they did not earn the right to live on this planet. And it's like, Wells, you clever guy. He was a weird person. He really was. Right. I'm totally going insane. I want this to work, but I'm just terrible at this, and it's not working. It's just... God... Right, I kind of repositioned it a little bit, see if we can get a better shot. And then away we go. And, aha! Still 84,000 kilometers, but that's good enough. You know what, screw it. We'll just take that and run with it. Let's do an experiment. Let's just change it by just like a couple minutes. Alright, let's try that. Like, I'm letting the motion of the planets do this for me. Still 84. God damn it. Alright. Still 84. 159. I wonder if that's any different. Yeah, okay, it seems no matter what I do, my separation is 84,159. And that never changes, so... That's interesting. I can't seem to change that number at all. But granted, it's probably because I'm just doing it wrong. But whatever. That was my attempt at space cannons. My first one, anyways. We got the Mun cannon to work, but the Duna cannon is a little bit more difficult, it seems. But I am tired. I have to get this video done, and I'm gonna go to bed. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will probably do more of this because it's a lot of fun to screw around with the physics of the game. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and space.